My dad was always this huge advocate of finding your own path, and I was playing totally wrong, and it was probably horrible, but my dad was like, this is great. Get really good at being really bad, like technically speaking,
Cage the Elephant is my favorite band in the world, and last day when I had seen this advice, when I saw this advice, I was like, oh my god, I've been giving this advice to myself for years and years. Today in this video, I want to talk about a few things that I learned during my English learning process, a few very valuable lessons that I took from my English learning journey. Stop following the rules, be skeptical, and question everything. What I mean by that is, for instance, right now, many of you learn English with my script method. I learned English with the script method, and honestly, without this method, there was no way that I would be able to learn English, okay? The reason I came up with this method is because I was like so questioning every single education system. There is always like this conventional way of learning English, like, start learning English with the grammar. That's the structure of language, and then go with vocabulary, improve your vocabulary, memorize tons of words. I mean, you attempt to learn English many times, and you fail to learn English many times. And at some point, your self-esteem is going down, and you start to feel like very insecure about yourself. At some point, you feel like, okay, you don't have what it takes, because there is this education system, there is this very, clear instructions, there is this very clear way of learning English that is being given to you, and you are supposed to learn English with those methods. You were supposed to succeed in learn English with those methods, and you fail to do that. And at some point, you start to question yourself, and you're like, okay, maybe it's because I don't have what it takes, okay? Maybe that's my fault, That's kind of things that I felt at the time. I just want to show you something, okay? Let me show you something. Do you see those list of words like beast, last, blade, and also do you see those translations, like, for instance, I read Lord of the Rings and I check out every single word. I look up the words that I don't know in the dictionary. And as you can see, guys, I didn't know what pickler meant. I didn't know what excitement meant at the time. But the thing is, I made those list of words, but I try to read books so that, I can improve my English. I made flashcards. I didn't show you guys, but I made tons of flashcards so that I can easily memorize tons of words. But I always felt like an idiot, because I don't know if it ever happens to you. Maybe it's about me, I don't know. Like, I memorized this list of words, okay, like punctuality, whole, legends, stuff, etc. I memorized them. A few days later, I don't remember any of them. I keep forgetting them again and again. I was like, dude, why do I forget what punctuality means? Why do I forget what whole means? This doesn't work, okay? I was seeing a lot of videos on YouTube, like how to memorize tons of words, how to memorize dude, I'm not able to memorize them. Even if I memorize them, a few months later, I always forget their meanings. I try to read books, I write down their meanings, and a few months later, I forgot their meanings. Even if I don't forget half of them, when it comes to speaking, I'm not able to use those words. So I realized that, okay, memorizing doesn't work. Making translation doesn't work. It is for me, okay? It never worked for me. I think that also involves being passionate about something. What I mean by passionate about is, for instance, when you make list of words, when you try to learn words, when you try to memorize words, or when you try to learn English in a conventional way, it doesn't make you happy. You don't feel excited about it, okay? It doesn't make you feel happy. And I think whatever you do in life, you need to be passionate about what you do. So in order to be passionate about what you do, you need to have fun. Let me tell you something. Let's say you told yourself, like, this year I'm gonna read 50 books. You set goals for yourself, okay? You can see a lot of videos on YouTube about setting goals, like, this year I'm gonna read 50 books, this year I'm gonna read 100 books, or in a week I'm gonna learn Italian, or in a month I'm gonna speak Italian fluently, in 6 months I'm gonna be speaking English like a native speaker. Instead of thinking about, like, okay, I need to read like 100 books. Instead of focusing on like how many books you're gonna read this year, I think just doing your best. If you're reading this book, The Book Thief or Harry Potter, trying to make the most out of it. Like, how can you read this book in the most fun way? How can I make the process fun? How can I make it part of my life? How can I get addicted to reading books? Instead of focusing on like, yeah, I need to finish 100 books this year. I need to read 100 books this year. This is my goal. This is why I need to read books. I think you need to change your mindset here. And I find this mindset really problematic. For instance, you're reading this book, maybe you're doing a lot of research, you start to read a lot of reviews, and then you start to watch Harry Potter series one more time, and then you start to YouTube videos that is related to Harry Potter, and then maybe you start to watch the talk shows where Emma Watson was a guest, and then you start to do a lot of researches about Emma Watson. You're being influenced by her life, and then you start to read books that she recommended, and that leads you to somewhere else. Basically, instead of focusing like, okay, I have to finish this book, instead of doing that, trying to have fun and making the most of it and reading passionately is like the most important thing.
Started by this amazing British lady in England, and the idea is just to kind of like make people love reading again and to spread the love, like random acts of kindness, I guess.
Your Majesty, I'm not such a good reader myself, you know. We will have to help each other out.
We as a human being tend to make sacrifices for the things that we love. If you love reading books, if you really read books with love, with passion, you're gonna make sacrifices anyway. Nobody can stop you, you know? You can't even stop yourself if you love what you do. I think that's always been my mindset. So basically, I think this year I'm gonna finish 50 books or 100 books. I think instead of focusing on finishing books, we need to focus on doing things that with love, with passion. You know what I mean? Whatever you do in life, you know, you want to learn English, right? I mean, you want to speak like a native speaker. I think instead of focusing on like, okay, I need to speak English like a native speaker in a year, so I need to work so hard. Instead of doing that, try to have the most fun. Try to make the process enjoyable for you so that you can keep going, so that you never give up, okay? So it's so important to not to burn out in the process. I'd rather read 50 books with a passion than reading 100 books just to finish it. You know what I mean?
Now, you had a rule when you were growing up that your parents couldn't make you go to bed if you were making music.
Yep.
Was there never even a point where your mum was like, well, you're not making music now, you're just messing around?
I mean, because making music is messing around. Like, there are some songs we wouldn't even have if we weren't messing around.
Patience, guys. I mean, I always say in my every single video about patience is the hardest thing in life. Being patient is the hardest thing in life. It's like a torture. Let's say we have right now about 500 subscribers on my channel, and I'm so thankful to every each one of you who like and subscribe to my channel and, you know, comments. But let's say 2 years later, my channel obviously is gonna have more subscribers than this, right? I mean, maybe we're gonna hit 10,000 subscribers, maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. But 100% in the future, 2 years later, I'm gonna be in a better position than I am right now in terms of numbers. If I can be patient enough, if I can think about like 2 years later, okay, Arsan, you're gonna be in a better position than you are right now. Yeah, I'm gonna be, right? Because that makes sense. If I keep improving myself, 100% I'm gonna make progress. But it never works like that. It never works thinking about the future, because you can never succeed in just focusing on the future. The most important thing is always focus on the moment and always try to do your best. When you try things, you need to learn to be patient, because every single thing, every single successful attempt takes a lot of consistent work and a lot of patience. And patience is always the hardest thing. Instead of thinking about the future, like how many subscribers I'm gonna have or where I'm gonna be, I just need to focus on the moment, and I just need to do my best right now, and I just need to have fun. That's it. If I do have fun, if I like what I do, if I do enjoy the process, 2 years later, obviously I'm going to be in a better position. For instance, let's say you try to learn English right now and you always keep questioning like where I'm going to be like a year later, like a year and a half. You're being impatient. You want to get to that level where you speak like a native speaker very fast. And that happened to me, okay? When I first started learning English, okay, where I'm gonna be like 8 months later or a year later, am I gonna be speaking English like a native speaker? Am I gonna be speaking English fluently? I was always, being so impatient. During my English learning journey, I kind of figured out that being patient is the only way of getting what you want in life. So without being patient, there is no way of succeeding in what you want in life. And this patience might take you 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, I don't know. But it might take you a lot of time, a lot of consistent work.
I like this. Who's responsible for this? This must have been Phineas.
Yeah, Phineas wrote that from Outliers.
10,000 hours. Is that how you felt when you were in this room? We're going to put our 10,000 hours in now.
He definitely felt like that. That was his whole thing.
Passion, patience, and also being brave enough to what you want to do in life and questioning every single education methods. These are like the things that I learned from my English learning journey, okay? These were my takes from my English learning journey, guys. Always question every single advice, every single educational content on YouTube, in school or university, or every single advice. Always question and try to come up with your solutions. Try to find a better way to figure out the problems. And the other thing is, be brave enough to do what you want to do in life. And last and final thing, be patient, do whatever you do with a passion, and don't get burnout. And these are my kind of like advice. This is my mindset. You can always question what I say in this video. You don't have to agree with every single thing that I say in the video, because this is my journey, this is my path, this is the mindset that worked for me. But what worked for me might not work for you necessarily, or it doesn't have to work for you necessarily, because your situation might be different. You might be in a very different situation. Question every single thing I say in the video, but also at the same time, if there are some things that resonate with you, I'm so glad to help. This is all I want to say in this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.